What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the FAQ Shack. This is the show where we dive into your most burning questions and break down the topics you're curious about. If there's something you're dying to understand, make sure to drop it in the comments. And hey, we might just build our next explainer all around your idea.
Okay, let's get right into it. With this one from Alex in Toronto. The classic showdown, right? It's a question as old as, well, smartphones themselves. Pixel versus iPhone. And this year, with the Pixel 10 and the iPhone 17, that choice is more fascinating than ever. So let's break it all down. First up, let's head to the battleground that always gets the most attention, performance. We're talking raw power, how fast these things are, and of course, how well they handle gaming. Now, on paper, this looks like a pretty open and shut case. So check this out. This slide really tells a story. We're looking at Geekbench 6 GPU scores, which is just a fancy way of saying we're stress testing the phone's graphics power. The Pixel 10 Pro with its Tensor G5 chip is scoring around 4100. Now look at the competition. Apple's A19 Pro is scoring over 25,000. Yeah, you heard that right. That is a massive gap, and it's exactly why you see so much debate online about whether the Pixel is a good gaming phone.
But here's where the numbers don't tell the whole story. This quote from a Reddit user really says it all. Based on these benchmarks, I went in expecting a terrible gaming experience. But that hasn't been the case at all. This just perfectly captures the disconnect, you know? Despite those wild benchmark scores, a lot of people are actually having a great time. So what is really going on?
The thing is, the experience can be wildly inconsistent. For instance, you could have one user playing Fortnite at maxed out epic settings, getting a buttery smooth 60 frames per second. But then another person, with the exact same phone, finds it completely unplayable because of lag. This really suggests that the Pixel's performance relies heavily on how well a specific game is optimized by its developers, and that's not always a sure thing.
And that leads us to Apple's approach, which is totally different. Instead of just relying on software, the iPhone 17 Pro tackles this with a brute force hardware solution, a brand new vapor chamber cooling system. Apple's claiming this gives them 40% better sustained performance. That word sustained is key. It means the phone doesn't overheat and slow down when you're gaming for a long time. It's a classic Apple move, right? Just engineer a physical solution to guarantee consistency.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about the cameras. For most of us, this is one of the most important parts of a new phone. And we're going to keep it really simple and just focus on the good old point-and-shoot experience. For this, we're going to use what I like to call the mom test. My mom, like a lot of people, doesn't mess around with pro settings or raw files. She just points her phone at something she wants a picture of, hits the button, and expects it to look great. And that's our test here. Which phone delivers the best shot with absolutely zero effort? So right off the bat, there's a technical difference in how they work. The iPhone 17 Pro will give you a 24-megapixel photo by default. The Pixel 10 Pro, on the other hand, gives you a 12.5-megapixel image. Now remember, more megapixels doesn't automatically mean a better picture, but it does show they have different philosophies on how to capture all that data.
But what really matters is how the photos look, and honestly, it's pretty subjective. The iPhone can sometimes create pictures that look a little cold or have a bluish tint, but man, it handles high contrast scenes absolutely beautifully. The Pixel, on the other hand, is lightning fast at jumping into night sight mode, so it often gets a much brighter shot when the lights are dim. Ultimately, neither phone is perfect every single time, and the better photo is really just going to come down to your own artistic taste.
Okay, now we need to talk about the single biggest difference between these two phones, their entire approach to artificial intelligence. You see, the Pixel 10 isn't just a phone with a few cool AI tricks. Its whole identity is built around a super deep integration with AI, all powered by that Tensor G5 chip and Google's Gemini models. The absolute star of the show here is something called Magic Q. Now, think of it less like an assistant you have to command, and more like a little agent that's always working for you in the background. It's an AI that runs right on your phone, securely scanning your apps to figure out what you're doing, and then it offers up helpful info right when you need it. Here's a perfect example. Imagine you're on the phone with a restaurant. Without you doing anything, Magic Q recognizes this, it quickly checks your calendar and emails, and then boom, a little bubble just pops up on your screen with your reservation details. It's all about saving you that moment of frantically digging through your other apps. That's the whole idea. And that's just the start. The Pixel 10 is packed with this stuff. You can translate a phone call in real time, get on-screen guides for taking better photos with Camera Coach, or even just edit your pictures by telling Google Photos what you want to change. The whole goal is to make the technology feel totally seamless and genuinely helpful. So while the flashy Pro models get all the headlines, both Apple and Google have a whole range of options. Let's kind of zoom out and take a look at the full lineups to see how their different philosophies play out across the entire family of phones. Over on Apple's side, the iPhone 17 lineup is looking really strong. The huge upgrade is that the base iPhone 17 model now gets a 120Hz ProMotion display. That means super smooth scrolling, and that used to be a Pro-only feature, so that's awesome. The Pro model, of course, has that advanced cooling system, and then there's this new kid on the block, the iPhone Air, which is the thinnest iPhone they have ever made, but still has that powerful A19 Pro chip. But that new iPhone Air does come with a little bit of a catch. While it has a 120Hz screen, some rumors suggest it might not have true ProMotion. What does that mean? Well, it can't dynamically slow down its refresh rate to save battery life. So for anyone coming from a Pro iPhone, losing that buttery smooth scrolling and always-on display could feel like a weird downgrade on such a premium device. And this brings us to another great question from our mailbag. Jamie from London puts it absolutely perfectly. This year's choice really does boil down to this fundamental question. Are you investing in Google's vision of an AI-powered future, or are you betting on Apple's mastery of premium hardware and raw power? So here it is, the bottom line. We're looking at two totally different philosophies for what a smartphone should even be. The Pixel 10 is the assistant. It's a device that tries to anticipate your needs, automate little tasks, and proactively help you out. The iPhone 17 is the tool. It is an incredibly powerful, reliable, and beautifully crafted piece of hardware that does exactly what you tell it to do when you tell it to do it. So, for Alex in Toronto and for everyone watching, the real question isn't which phone is better, it's which philosophy is right for you. Do you want a powerful tool that you command, or do you want a smart assistant that helps you out? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for stopping by the FAQ Shack.